Tonight, we report on a change in the ballot counts for school district levies, and allowing chickens in Moses Lake will again be discussed by the City Council. What's happening in sports, Bob?
The Wharton Cougars split games at the district basketball tournament in Wenatchee, and the Almara Cooley Heartline teams kick off postseason play with wins. Let's take a quick peek at our Weather Center forecast.
Hi everyone, Cheslin here at the Weather Center. Showers and thunderstorms along the coastal area. Lots of cloud cover, and all that moisture may shift towards the east. I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
I'm Amber Jenks, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
The airline planning to start service from Moses Lake filed bankruptcy after postponing the return of commercial air service to Grant County. Seaport Airlines filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The Portland, Oregon-based company announced the change on Monday, along with resignation of President and CEO Rob McKinney. Executive Vice President Timothy Sieber was appointed as Seaport's new president. Seaport and the Port of Moses Lake reached a tentative proposal to re-establish passenger air service to Grant County in October of 2015. The service was to offer daily round-trip flights from Grant County International Airport to both Seattle and Portland, and a connecting flight to Port Angeles. Seaport officials stated the service was delayed indefinitely on January 21st, citing a shortage of available pilots. A man was arrested Wednesday night after neighbors reported hearing between 50 and 100 gunshots outside his home. Reporter Joe Utter has the details.
A man allegedly fired at least 50 shots outside his home near Soap Lake before barricading himself inside and setting his home on fire. Residents in the 16,000 block of Road B.5 Northeast called 911 after reportedly hearing between 50 and 100 gunshots within a 30-minute period outside the home of Robert Wiley, a 49-year-old Soap Lake man. According to the sheriff's office, when deputies arrived, Wiley was reportedly inside his home and had set it on fire. Wiley allegedly refused to come out of the home and fled out of a back window into a field after extinguishing the flames. The sheriff's office used a camera on its new unmanned aerial vehicle, or drone, and reportedly tracked the man as he walked away from his home. The video shows 4 sheriff's deputies approach Wiley in a field before he was arrested for a warrant for failing to appear in court. Under Sheriff Dave Panozzo said investigators could not determine if shots were fired at anything specific or a general direction. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
5 of the 6 Grant County property tax levies are passing. Voters in Quincy, Royal, Wahluke, and Warden approved their levies, including a $108 million bond for Quincy to build a new high school and renovate several others. The Quincy measure had 63.8% voting in favor and 36.1% opposed. Soap Lake residents approved a 2-year levy to replace 2 school buses, but a maintenance and operations levy aimed at providing the school with roughly $800,000 during the next 4 years is failing, with 392 people voting against it and 206 people voting in favor of it. The Grant County Auditor's Office reported a 42% voter turnout. The election had 10,272 people eligible to vote. A final count is expected on February 19th before the election is confirmed. There are more scam phone calls from people impersonating IRS agents during tax filing season. At least a dozen Grant County residents have received a call this week from scammers posing as the IRS, claiming people owe taxes and demanded payment using a prepaid debit card. The scammers often threaten people with arrest, deportation, or loss of a business or driver's license. The scammers often alter caller ID numbers to make it appear like the IRS or another government agency is calling, and may use IRS titles and fake badge numbers. The IRS reminds people they can easily know when a call is fake. The IRS will never demand immediate payment. demand you pay taxes without the opportunity to appeal the amount, require you to use a specific payment method such as a prepaid debit card, ask for credit or debit card numbers over the phone, or threaten to bring in police to have you arrested for not paying. Now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be back right after this.
When the cold rolls in, it's time to turn on the heater and cozy up with a book. But turning up the heat can mean higher electric bills. And for some families in tough times, that could mean choosing between a warm meal or a warm house. For decades, people like you have extended a hand to help local families in need pay those winter electric bills. Share the warmth this winter to help keep your neighbor warm by giving a little when you pay your Grant PUD bill.
Hi everyone, I'm Chaselyn Rodriguez bringing you your local weather. This weather segment is brought to you by Barry Motors, one great place to buy and service a car. Let's take a closer look at our headlines within the next few days. There is an air stagnation advisory that is in effect until this weekend. For tonight, we're expecting mostly cloudy skies with a slight chance of precipitation, especially for the morning hours. Rain chances will continue for Friday, especially for the coastal areas. Series of low pressure systems will approach the state within the next few days, bringing that threat of valley rain and mountain snow. Taking a closer look at the almanac within the past 24 hours. We woke up with temperatures above the normal for this time of year in the lower 30s, maximum temperature slightly above the normal in the mid 40s, and that record high of 54 degrees was set back in 1992. Our sunset was at 5:15 p.m. Moses Lake, very similar temperatures this morning in the lower 30s, above the normal for this time of year should be in the mid 20s. And maximum temperatures in the mid 40s, slightly above the normal for this time of year. Mostly cloudy skies right now outside your door with temperatures in the lower 40s and those winds pushing through from the north up to 11 miles per hour. Lots of moisture, showers and thunderstorms for this evening. Commute along the coastal area. All that moisture will continue shifting towards the northeast, bringing that threat of showers and thunderstorms. Lots of moisture along the Columbia Basin. Mostly cloudy skies are expected for central and eastern parts of our state. Through the morning commute, showers and thunderstorms are likely for that morning commute along the coastal area. And for the Cascades, that threat of showers and a wintry mix will continue within the next few days. For our area, a spotty shower or two cannot be ruled out through the evening hours on Friday and into the weekend. Another system approaching may bring that threat of unsettled weather. In the meantime, let's take a closer look at those temperatures for the Yakima Valley in the mid 50s. For the coastal area, temperatures in the lower 50s with lots of cloud cover and that threat of showers and thunderstorms, heavy rainfall at times. Temperatures for the inland northwest ranging for around the mid 40s. Taking a closer look at our Columbia Basin, those temperatures ranging from the lower 40s to lower 50s. Royal City and Moses Lake hitting that 50-degree mark. Mild temperatures are expected Friday into the weekend. Ephrata in the upper 40s, and for Bridgeport, temperatures in the lower 40s with mostly cloudy skies and that threat of isolated showers, especially through the late afternoon hours. Taking a closer look at our extended forecast for the week. For tomorrow, Friday, there is that 40% chance of precipitation. Mild temperatures are expected for Friday into the weekend. Temperatures hitting that 50-degree mark. Another chance of showers for Sunday, and for President's Day, mostly cloudy skies are expected with temperatures almost hitting that 60-degree mark. We'll be right back with sports.
To save some energy, I've used Einstein's mass energy equivalence to design the haptic suits you see in front of you. They will maintain our core body temperature while we completely turn off our heat and air conditioning. With the money we save on our Grant PUD bill, I'll be expecting that trip to Disneyland this year.
You don't need to be a super genius to save energy and money. Visit grantpud.org to learn how.
The new flamethrower cheeseburger now with a $5 lunch. I'm going flamethrower today.
Remember what happened last time?
I'm going flamethrower today.
Gary, do you remember what happened last time?
I'm going flamethrower today.
Remember what happened last time?
Comes with a Sunday now. I can handle it.
You know your body, Gary.
Go flamethrower. Now the DQ $5 lunch comes with the new jalapeno bacon flamethrower cheeseburger, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. This is fan food, not fast food.
4 players hit for double digits, and Warden got past a talented Liberty Bell squad 75-70 in first-round district action at Eastmont High last night. J.R. Delgado led the Cougar attack with 17 points. Tanner Scone added a double-double, 16 points and 10 rebounds. Adam Richens hit for 16 points, and Sergio Vela finished with 13. Warden jumped out to an early 12-point first-quarter lead. The Cougars pushed the score to 41-26 at the break. The Mountain Lions scratched their way back in it and cut the lead to a single point heading into the final 8 minutes of the contest. It was a real battle down the stretch, but Warden was able to convert at the free throw line and held on for the win. The Cougars match up with familiar foe Kittitas in round 2 Friday. Well, the Lady Cougars didn't fare as well, dropping a 55-37 first-round game to Brewster. It was an off night all round for the girls, who had trouble getting the ball to drop through the cylinder. The Lady Bears were in control from the get-go, up 9-1 at the end of the first quarter and 24-11 at the break. Warden made a run to trail by 9 heading into the fourth, but Brewster withstood the rally to win it. Alicia Gonzalez led the Cougar effort with 14 points. Bailey Whitney added 12 in the loss. The Cougars dropped to the consolation bracket and will match up with Tenasket at Eastmont Junior High Saturday at 6:15 in a loser-out contest. 4 players scored in double figures, and Elmira Cooley Heartline blew past Cusick 69-32 in first-round District 6 action in Cooley City. This one was never in doubt, with the Warriors holding a 23-7 lead at the end of the first quarter and up 37-12 at halftime. A 19-point third quarter pushed the score to 56-20. Peyton Nielsen finished with a game-high 16 points. McGuire, Isaac, and Charles Hunt added 13 each. Dallas Isaac hit for 10. The 21-0 Warriors advanced to round 2 against a yet-to-be-determined opponent in Deer Park on Saturday. The Lady Warriors' Tiffany Botain drained 17 points, and ACH crushed Inchalum 67-29 in round 1 of the district tournament. The Warriors got all the points they needed in the first 8 minutes of the contest, up 32-0 after the first quarter was in the books. ACH led 50-7 at the break. Brenna and Kara Oliver added 12 points each for the Warriors. Gabby Isaac finished with 11. Ranley Finley led the Hornets with 12 points. ACH is back on the hardwood for round 2 action Saturday in Deer Park. We'll be back after this short break.
You don't have to drive to Seattle for exceptional cancer care. Confluence Health's cancer program delivers world-class care close to home. We have a highly experienced oncology team in a state-of-the-art facility, and we're a member of the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance, which gives our patients access to world-renowned therapies developed at Fred Hutchinson, the University of Washington Medicine, and Seattle Children's. Together with the SCCA, we're delivering world-class cancer care close to home.
Well, one thing I knew from being a patient myself was that a dental office is a scary place to come to. And so we wanted everything possible to make sure that our office is a comfortable place for our patients to visit. The patients that I have, my clients, have made me a part of this community, and we want to give back in every way possible.
Our spotlight story tonight is about the Grant County Sheriff's Office new drone program, which was successfully used for the first time on Wednesday night. Reporter Joe Utter has the story.
After a full day of training to certify sheriff's deputies to fly unmanned aerial vehicles, the Grant County Sheriff's Office successfully used the aircraft to track a wanted man who allegedly fled his home. The unmanned aerial vehicle, more commonly known as a UAV or a drone, was deployed Wednesday night at a home near Soap Lake. The pilot was able to circle the home until the suspect was reportedly seen fleeing out the window and into a field. The camera on the drone was used to track the suspect until deputies took him into custody. Wednesday's training allowed deputies to be certified with the Federal Aviation Administration. Sheriff Tom Jones explains more about the process.
So yesterday we went through a selection process for our unmanned aerial vehicles, or commonly known as UAVs. And in order for our agency to make sure that we're doing the process correctly, we selected 7 actual pilots that went through an all-day training, both a written and practical application of the UAV to make sure that they know all the ins and outs of the vehicle and how its uses and all the benefits that it can bring.
The Sheriff's Office is finalizing its policy before the drone program is approved, which is focused on use in specific purposes while protecting citizens' right to privacy.
So obviously, as the sheriff, I'm a big proponent of the right to privacy, and obviously following the Fourth Amendment, that's the last thing we want to do is invade anybody's privacy or right to privacy on their own property. So if it's something that we have a lawful purpose to be on that particular property, we'll follow it just like we do any other occasion with an application for a search warrant for that property. That will allow us to basically do anything that we need to on that property with the permission of the courts.
The sheriff said it appears his office is the only one in the state with a UAV program, and the program could provide an example for other agencies to follow.
I absolutely do. I think there is a huge need for it, and I think a lot of people have a misnomer that because there's a UAV in the air that law enforcement might be spying on people or that effect. But in the reality is that these, at least with our office, I believe that they'll be used more for post-investigatory situations or missing persons, missing children, those kind of things, to where we can get something up in the air and we can actually cover a lot more ground versus on foot or on horses or something like that.
The idea for the drone program came when a hunter went missing near Royal City in November. Jones said it took about 4 days to find the hunter's body.
I truly believe with the capabilities of the UAV or the unmanned or aerial vehicle that we would have, because they're very specific on, you can set parameters, you can set grid searches and that kind of thing, and it does it all via GPS. And so with that, I believe we would have located the missing hunter substantially earlier than what we did.
The UAV program is expected to be approved later this month. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
We'll be right back after this.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Bend will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Experience speed like never before when you connect to Grant PUD's high-speed network. Visit grantpud.org to learn more.
Welcome back. Chickens are back on the Moses Lakes agenda. The City Council set a public hearing to discuss changing the city code to allow people to keep a few of the birds inside city limits. The hearing is scheduled for the February 23rd City Council meeting. The meeting starts at 7 p.m. at the Moses Lake Civic Center. Previous proposals allowed residents to keep 4 hens in a coop, hen house, or a mobile coop at all times. A prior proposal required the birds to be housed at least 15 feet away from neighboring properties. It's unknown whether the new proposals will change how many animals will be allowed. Moses Lake is considering adding roughly $3 million to its budget. City officials proposed a list of additional spending during a study session Tuesday evening. The city has been working on a plan for the roughly $12 million in surplus it had following approval of the 2016 budget. City Manager John Williams previously said the 2016 budget maintained all of the city's current services but didn't add any new spending. The largest proposed increase is coming in the equipment rental budget, which includes all of the city's vehicles. The proposed $1 million increase includes adding 2 police cars, replacing the animal control truck, and buying a fire engine. Another budget proposal calls for spending $1 million on street reconstruction. The majority of the money is going to the city's chip sealing program. In Northwest news, the armed occupation of the Wallier National Wildlife Refuge in eastern Oregon is over after the 4 remaining occupiers surrendered peacefully on Thursday. An FBI spokesperson said agents tried to approach one of the protesters as he was riding an ATV outside barricades. The protester returned to the refuge, and the FBI placed agents at all of the barricades. No one was injured and no shots were fired. The 4 who surrendered were the remainder of the anti-government militants who took over the Wildlife Refuge headquarters on January 2nd. A shoplifter was caught red-handed, but it's why she was stealing that touched the hearts of 2 Tokila police officers. KCPQ's Jamie Tompkins has the story.
We're here when you need us. If the bad comes knocking on your door, we're the ones that come fix it.
Officer Mike Bamer and Sergeant Mike Murphy have nearly 40 years on the force between them. Last Monday, the 2 were called to South Center Mall to catch a shoplifter.
And this lady was described as leaving with 2 young children. So we went to check on the kids.
When they finally tracked down the suspect and the children, they realized this was no ordinary crime.
She stopped, she dropped the bags, she kind of broke down in tears.
They were hysterical. The poor kids were scared to death. She said that she was a recent victim of domestic violence and that she was homeless.
Bamer knew just how to calm everyone down.
Doc came into the rescue, yes he did.
He let the children play with his canine partner, Doc. The mother explained she'd stolen some children's gloves and hats to keep her 6-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son warm while they were stranded out in the cold for the day.
They were riding the bus to stay warm.
They had a place to stay that night. They had a friend to stay with that night, but they had no one to stay with during the day, and they didn't know about shelters to go to.
Bamer returned their stolen items and bought the children warm gloves and hats. And Murphy gave Mom a list of resources and shelters and wished them well.
She came over and gave me a really heartfelt hug. And, you know, you're not supposed to hug the police, but it was great. It made me feel good.
It's a story you don't hear often, and it's definitely one they weren't chomping at the bit to share.
Mortified when I asked him to come on the news and talk about what he'd done.
Terrified. This is not something that we do. We don't become police officers to get notoriety like this.
But it's the kind of story that's not told often enough.
That's going to do it here for us at iFIBER 1 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.